Hello, everyone. I'm Mandy Moon, a brand marketing consultant for sales teams, professionals, and entrepreneurs. Thank you for joining me to our 5-part video series, How to Build Your Brand. I'm again coming at you from my bedroom office as my 6-year-old son is taking over my normal at-home working space, watching his own YouTube videos that he created for himself today. But every day this week, I'm coming at you with a live video sharing one of the 5 steps that I take my clients through when helping them develop their own personal brand. So, day 1, we talked about building a brand foundation around your founder story and your purpose story. Day 2, we talked about how to find your hero. And today, we're going to talk about how you can become Yoda. Now, what do I mean by that? So, yesterday we talked about Donald Miller, the founder of StoryBrand, and his framework for compelling stories. How to tell if a movie or a book or a story is going to be compelling. Every good story falls in this framework, right? That it's a 6-part framework, and every good story has a hero. That hero has a problem, or there's a villain. The hero then meets a guide. The guide has a plan. The hero gets called to action, and then the hero saves the day, right? So every good story follows this framework. Yesterday, we talked about the biggest mistake that brands make is trying to be the hero, positioning themselves as the hero, and how we should instead position our client as the hero and find our heroes, right? So if our clients are Luke Skywalker, our clients are the heroes, walking around as Luke Skywalker, what does that make us? That makes us the Yoda, right? That makes us the master. So how do we become the master, the Yoda to Luke Skywalker, our perfect client? I'm going to share with you my process for helping people figure that out. How do we do it? So we're here. Heroes are looking for guides, right? Good heroes are always out there looking for a guide who's going to be able to help them get to where they want to go. They want guides who've been there, done that, who understand their struggles, who know where they are and can get them out of whatever they're struggling with, right? So how do we position ourselves to be that person? Well, we can go up to our heroes and say, hey, hero, I've been there, I've done that, I've struggled with that, I can take you where you want to go, right? We can flat out just say that, but heroes are smart. Heroes know they've been burned. Heroes know that there are villains out there. They're not just going to believe what you say, right? So how do we get them to believe us? Well, I find that the best way to get your hero to believe that you are the right guide for them is to show them your work. So instead of us telling them, instead of us being like, hey, I've been there, I've done that, why don't we instead take the time to show them? So how do we do that? One of my favorite authors for creatives, his name is Austin Kleon. And I actually kind of was fangirling yesterday because I got to hop on a Zoom call with him and ask him some questions. He wrote a book called Show Your Work. And the premise of that book is how today, in today's day and age, it's important for us to connect our heroes by showing them our process and by sharing your journey. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I hear this a lot. A lot of people say to me, Mandy, I'm just a insurance agent, or I'm just a financial planner, or I just sell insert product here, whatever it is. It's boring. Nobody cares. Who cares? Well, one of my favorite quotes from Austin Kleon, he says, there is an art to what you do, and there are people who would be interested in that art if you only presented it. And it's true. The truth is, we live in an age of information overload and technology, and no matter how much people complain about it, we love it. People love it. There are millions of hours of YouTube videos consumed. We walk around scrolling on our phones, consuming information all day. We walk around with little devices on our wrists that tell us how many steps we've taken in a day. There are baby changing pads that you can weigh your baby on, and you can find out how many ounces of milk they just consumed. We are obsessed with information. There is no denying it. So, how do you find the art for the information that you have to provide? How do you know what type of information is going to be compelling to your hero? So I'm going to walk you through a 3-step process that I take my clients through to kind of gather the stories and figure out the information that their clients want to know and need to know in order to trust them as the master, right? In order to trust them as the guide to get to where they want to go. So the first thing that you need to do is to share your past. So here are some of the prompts that I have. What have you struggled with in the past? How did you overcome it? What came naturally to you? What are the things that you had to learn? So go grab a piece of paper, literally brainstorm, write all of this stuff down. No detail, no story, nothing is too small or too big to write down. Write it all down. This is your guide profile is, again, a gathering phase. This is a phase for you to gather all of your stories. So I'm going to read off those prompts again. What have you struggled with? How did you overcome? What comes naturally, or what came naturally to you? And what did you have to learn in the past, and what did you do? So when you're gathering these stories, the key to this part is to remember to keep your hero in the center of the stories that you're gathering, because when you go to tell these stories, you're going to tell these stories with your hero in the center of it. You're going to position yourself again as the guide, the person who's been there and done that to help your hero. A lot of people get uncomfortable with this phase because, we're from central Minnesota and nobody likes to talk about themselves, and I understand that, but you got to keep in mind that your hero is the center of all of these stories. And even though these are your experiences, you're here to help the hero, right? So share your past. The next section is to share your present. What are you currently learning, trying, or experiencing? What season of business are you in? How do you stay productive? What or who is helping you along the way? Heroes need to know that you are also moving, that you're moving in a direction forward. Nobody wants to hitch themselves to a has-been, right? Nobody wants to hitch themselves to a has-been hero. Heroes want to position themselves with a guide who's going to take them to where they need to be. So make sure that you are showing your hero that you are still moving, you are still growing. And with that comes the hardest part for people, which is to share your future. Now, I think this is the hardest part for clients, for most people, because there's so much fear around sharing your future because the future hasn't happened yet. You, as a guide, don't know what's necessarily in your future. Most of us have dreams and goals, and a lot of us keep them locked away inside for fear of, a lot of things, for fear that it may not come true, for fear of judgment. But I am a firm believer that if you have goals and dreams, the more that you talk about them, the more that you breathe life into them. So share your future with your hero. Tell your hero where you're going. And again, if you're able to share this information with them, they're more likely to trust and connect with you and want to hitch themselves to where you're headed. So some of the prompts that I ask my clients for this section are: where are you headed? What are your next steps? What needs to happen in order for you to get there? And how do you plan to achieve your goal? All right, so those are the 3 phases: sharing your past, your present, and your future. Again, gathering all of these stories, keeping your hero in the center of it, remembering that you are the guide that's going to help your hero. Refer back to yesterday's video when we were thinking about our hero, what makes our hero happy, what makes our hero angry, and what makes our hero hopeful. Think about those things when you are gathering these stories, right? What's going to help them maintain happiness? What's going to help them in their hopeful phase? When have you also felt angry, like your hero? What the things that make your hero angry, right? So these are how you gather these stories. Brainstorming phase, gather as much as you can. The more things that you can gather, the more solid your guide profile is going to be, and you're going to be well on your way. So that is step 3. I'm so excited. You guys, step 1, 2, and 3 are the hardest part. 1, 2, and 3 is the big meaty part of your brand foundation. Tomorrow we're going to go ahead and talk about step 4, and that's where we put it all together and start to develop a plan to launch and execute your brand. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned tomorrow as we move on to step 4, and we're almost in the clear. There are only 5 steps here, guys, and this is the meat of it. So glad that you were able to join me today. Please let me know if you have any questions. I hope you're finding this helpful, and I hope you have a great day. You guys have a good one.